The Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass. Where we make it happen, grab your seat, let's have a blast. At the Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast.
If you love the entrepreneurial journey, how about subscribing and giving us a 5-star review? Wherever you get your podcasts, follow or subscribe and give us a positive review so more entrepreneurs out there don't need to feel alone. Thanks. Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. Today I have Ashley Leeds with me. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Hello, Rebecca. How the devil are you?
I'm splendid, thank you.
Awesome.
Very well indeed. I suspect this is going to be slightly anarchic, so I just want everybody to strap in, okay, and be secure because I don't know where this is going to take us. But you are the did you say the 15-minute guy or the 15-minute Leeds guy?
No, the 15-minute guy. My surname is Leeds, so people get confused with that.
I know.
And the other thing they get confused about, Rebecca, is they think I'm from up north.
I know. I thought you were from Leeds.
No. I get that all the time. You'll never guess what my favourite football team is, though.
Is it Leeds United?
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with the fact that it's my name. I promise. They were the team when I was a kid.
For our global audience, Leeds is a post-industrial town in the north of England and was once down at heel, but is now pretty cool and trendy and even has a Harvey Nicks. So there we go. We've filled that.
It must be good.
yeah, definitely. Right. 15 minutes. What do you do for people in 15 minutes?
Oh, now that would be telling, wouldn't it?
It would.
So the thing is, Rebecca, I don't know about you, but I love LinkedIn and I get people to go onto LinkedIn and I train people on LinkedIn. And in life, we're far too busy. And so I've perfected this little training course that I do. And basically I teach it in 15 minutes a day.
Right.
And because people go on LinkedIn and they spend an hour or 2 hours on LinkedIn, end up down a rabbit hole, don't do anything, and then shut their laptop and think LinkedIn's rubbish.
Yeah.
But if you do something with purpose, and it could be absolutely anything in life, it doesn't have to just be LinkedIn. If you do something with purpose and put in the time and do it properly, then you can do it in a short amount of time. So I say 15 minutes a day, and 15 minutes a day, okay, if you do it for a year, is 65 hours. And if you've got 65 hours of free marketing, who doesn't want that in their business?
Totally and utterly agree. I am constantly banging on to our coaches and consultants about getting on LinkedIn and just spending, I say 20 minutes a day, just working it. If you do it daily and consistently, you can't help but grow your audience and get clients.
I've got a great story about consistency.
Go for it.
We'll come to that, I suppose, in the conversation.
All right.
But that's all I say to everybody. Consistency. Well, everyone wants to know the secret to break the algorithm. There is no secret. It's all about consistency. Have you seen the movie, The King, or King Richard, I think it's called? Will Smith playing an absolutely blinding role as Richard Williams. And Richard Williams is the father of Venus and Serena. Okay. And it's the story of how he created those girls into the world's greatest tennis players.
Right.
But it was all about consistency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. Right. So because I've looked at your LinkedIn profile and you began your life as a mortgage advisor, which is very dull, it has to be said.
Yeah, all right.
How do you, sorry, all you mortgage advisors out there, I'm sure it's a fascinating job. Not for me though. How do you go from that to earning a living out of what is social media? I know LinkedIn isn't social media. Yes, it is. It's just for business people and not for kittens. How do you go from that to what you're doing now? What is that career path?
Oh my goodness, it's more convoluted than that. If I can step back a little bit, I grew up near Newquay in Cornwall, and this was early 80s, I think. Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. And I just loved music. I loved listening to the radio, and I wanted to be a Radio 1 DJ.
Right.
Now, when you go to your careers teacher in that era, girls become hairdressers or secretaries, boys work in factories.
Yeah.
That was basically it. Because I lived near Newquay, there was a lot of hotels.
Oh, hang on. Right. Now I've shut the dogs out. Carry on, please, Ashley.
So there I was in Newquay, not knowing what I wanted to do. Well, I did know what I wanted to do, but I wasn't going to be able to do that because we didn't have the structure in careers today. And if someone goes into their careers teacher say, I want to be a Radio 1 DJ, right, you need to do this, this, and this. And we can, and there's a world of opportunity. Yeah. We didn't have that. We didn't have computers at school. We didn't have the internet, none of that. And so I ended up becoming a chef. I went to Camborne College, or Camborne Tech as it would call back then, and became a chef. I went up to London, worked in London. I came back down to the West Country, went to Sidmouth. So this is where I am now, in Sidmouth in Devon. So right on the coast, beautiful place.
Yeah, nice.
And I went to work at this amazing hotel. And in there was this lovely young lady. She is now my wife.
Oh.
That was 37 years ago when I met her. And we wanted to start a family once we got married. And she wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. And that was how I wanted to be a parent as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into sales.
Right.
Okay. So I sold insurance and I did loads and loads. And I've had 30 jobs in my career, Rebecca.
Right.
And so I went into sales. And then 17 years ago, I ended up working for a software company selling software to accountants.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And I was there for 8 years, really, really loved the accounting space, loved the software and all of that tech. That's where I upped my game with computers and stuff like that. And then I went into coaching. So I was coaching accountants. And then 3 years ago, after raising a little bit of money, I had the confidence to just set up on my own. And when I set up on my own, I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to do because of an anti-compete clause. And I went, oh, what can I do? I did LinkedIn.
Right.
And the anti-compete clause totally changed my life.
Oh.
And so today, here I am, nearly 3 years from starting my business, and I am now a go-to person in the LinkedIn space. So much so that yesterday I launched my Epic News, and I am hosting a LinkedIn lounge at Accountex. Now, Accountex is the world's biggest accountancy exhibition.
Wow.
10,000 accountants, bookkeepers are going, and I'm going to be there with my own LinkedIn lounge as a partner of the organization.
Oh, congratulations.
Isn't that incredible?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well done, you.
And
well
that's
done,
all
you.
Because, Rebecca, I've been consistent.
Yeah.
I've shown up. I've done the same thing. I've been on podcasts. I do webinars. I share stuff freely on LinkedIn. I've got a YouTube channel. I've written a book. I do a podcast and public speaking. And now people are saying, can you come and do this? Can you come and do that? I'm actually talking to a couple of people at the moment about doing international gigs.
Yay!
It's just, I pinch myself. I absolutely pinch myself.
It works, though. It really, really works. And people think, oh, you're just posting. Now, what you've described there, I know is a boatload of work because we do something similar here at TriCrest. We've got our YouTube channel, we've got our TikTok channel now, we've got LinkedIn, blah, 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 all the rest of it. And we run monthly events and all kinds of things. There's a huge amount of work. Is it just you, or have you got some, freelancers supporting you, or a team?
It is just me on my little own. I've learned how to do streaming. I've learned how to edit videos. I've just learned it all. I've learned Canva.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I'm having so much fun. But because I've learned all of this, I'm now able to teach it all.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you work with me, you're going to get an awful lot more than just LinkedIn. And because I've got a coaching background and because I've got a 30 years sales experience, I can help you with all of that. So, one of the key things I help people with is their confidence.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like, Rebecca. They come to write on LinkedIn, and, oh, I can't do that. And I get people messaging me, I've actually posted. My hands were sweating, but I've actually posted. And you're sort of like, well, that was me.
Yeah. 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 No, it was. We've got to remember where we came from. There was a time when you just didn't want to put your head above the parapet, and I don't know about you, but I would definitely think, well, God, who am I to say this? Who am I to post that? You kind of think people with much bigger, posher jobs than me know more than me. But actually, when you get into your niche, and you've found your niche, you've found your groove, because you're practicing it every day and you are consistent, you do end up being that expert in that particular space. and have a ton of experience to share without a shadow of a doubt. So that's great. So do you think you would recommend this path, to your 18-year-old self, or would you do it any differently? What do you think?
I'd have done it a lot sooner, Rebecca.
Would you?
I'm in my 50s,
Right.
and you, but I don't have any regrets.
Mm,
I don't have any regrets because it is what it is.
yeah.
This is all down to what I've done in my past.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked in hospitality. I know what hard work is. I talk to somebody and I say, you need to do this, this, and this on LinkedIn, and they go, "Oh, that's really hard." Really? You want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go and work in a kitchen,
Yeah.
chop a load of veg? When I went up to London as a chef, as a trainee chef, I used to spend all Tuesday morning chopping the fins off of trout and then gutting them.
Nice.
Yeah, what a nice job. I stopped smelling of fresh fish by Friday. It was horrible. That's hard work.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not sitting on social media doing a little video.
Yeah, I know. It is. Sometimes you think this is way too much fun to actually end up, making money out of it. But it is. It's really good fun. But I think people think, oh, you just post a video and you make that sound so easy. However, there's quite a lot of thought that goes into that video, isn't there? In terms of your message, how you're positioning it, what you're saying, how you come across, who it's for. What kind of process do you go through before you put that 30-second, 2-minute video together?
So I create a video every single Monday.
Okay.
And it's 5 ideas for what to write on LinkedIn this week.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And because I've been doing that so long, I can just think of ideas off the top of my head.
Right.
And so I create that video. And so all week I'm thinking of how that's going to be. And then I just put that out. And yeah, there's a fair bit of work that goes into that because there's the research and the writing of the email and the newsletter and then the video and stuff like that. But that's what's got me known.
Yeah.
And it's that consistency.
Mm.
So people reach out and say, "Oh, so-and-so said I need to speak to you. I've seen your stuff." And I get all kinds of random things. I had a message the other day from the AIA. Now, the AIA is the Association of International Accountants.
Okay.
And they've asked me to write an article for their members magazine that gets distributed to 8,000 accountants around the world.
Wow. Wow.
Now, do you think I needed to think about whether I wanted to do that?
Thanks for listening, everybody. Did you know at TriCrest, we've built a kick-ass culture coach and consultant program? So if you're a business coach or consultant and you're looking for something new, add to your toolbox, or even escape the 9-to-5, join us at our next event. Links in the information on the podcast. See you there. And is it mainly accountants who are following you because that's your background?
Yeah, but so this is the thing. LinkedIn is for everybody.
Yeah.
But because I've got a huge following in the, accountants and bookkeepers are following me, then that's a sort of like a sub niche for me.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of work with those organizations. So I've done talks for the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the Association of Accounting Technicians, the ICAEW. So lots of different organizations are now seeing me as the guy that knows LinkedIn. And because I've been working for accountants in the accounting space for 17 years, they then know that I'm welcome in that group.
Yeah.
Because they're very loyal accountants and bookkeepers. That's why I love them, because it takes a while to break into that industry. But I'm one of them now, and a lot of people think I'm an accountant, which is amazing. There's no way I could be an accountant. I'm not clever enough.
I recruited accountants for 10, 12 years as a recruiter, and they're a lovely bunch of people. And you're absolutely right. Once they know, like, and trust you, they're very, very loyal. And they were great. But I think the illustration there is that your niche is LinkedIn, and then you've got a niche within a niche.
Absolutely.
And we're forever telling our coaches and consultants to really, really niche down. Some of them freak out and go, well, what about all the other stuff over here? We're like, no, niche down. Then you'll get asked to do other stuff without a shadow of a doubt. But that's a beautiful example of going, well, actually, that's a niche within a niche. And you could even go further and go, look, I just work with the tax people in.
Yeah,
You could
absolutely. Or small business owners or large practices, whatever. And that's the thing. And this is what I do with my coaching clients, because I do have a few accountants and bookkeepers who I coach on a regular basis.
Right.
And I get them to become a niche as well. And my little story for niching is, if you went into a networking meeting and stood on the table and say, hey, guys, I'm a dog groomer, a few people in the room might stop what they're doing and turn around and look at you. But if you went in the room and say, look, I'm a dog groomer for Afghan hounds, I don't know where that dog comes. Let's say Labradors, yeah? Because I can't think the last time I saw an Afghan.
Oh, they're lovely, and they need a lot of grooming.
They do need a lot of grooming. But let's just say Labrador. 3 people in the room would turn around and look at you straight away, because they've got a Labrador. They've got a dog groomer at the moment, but they didn't realize there was such a thing as a specialist Labrador groomer. And therefore, they are all ears.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's the thing. And then you're going to get someone going, what about Retriever? Can you do my Retriever? Because I've heard great things about you because you're amazing with Labradors. Yeah, of course I could do a Retriever, because they're pretty similar. And then, what about an Alsatian? Yeah, go on, we'll do that for you. But what you're doing is your marketing is bang on the Labradors. Yeah, you know that they like food, so they can use that in your marketing. And there's loads of other things, stuff like that. Who knew that I'd ever be talking about dogs?
Well, you have a podcast. So I said before we came on air, I was slightly nervous about interviewing you, because I am nervous about interviewing fellow podcasters. And what's your podcast all about?
Okay, so first of all, are you at ease now? Surely you're okay now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm no threat. Yeah. So the thing is, right, I've always wanted to do a podcast because I wanted to be a radio one DJ. I'll do a podcast. What can I do a podcast about? And I never really thought about it. When LinkedIn, a few years ago, LinkedIn had something called Live Launch. Okay.
It did.
And to do a live on LinkedIn, you had to give blood, donate a kidney, fill out 1 million forms, prove that your parents are still alive. Well, it was a crazy sort of thing. And myself and my boss both applied at the same time.
Right.
Then I left. And so that I was set up on my own. And then like a week or two later, I had an email come in saying, you've now got the live license. You now can go live. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I might have one up on my boss here. And so I thought, right. And then in the small print, if you don't go live within the next however many days, you'll lose this facility.
Right.
I thought, right, what can I do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm nosy. I don't know about you, Rebecca, but I'm
very
really
nosy. Yeah.
And I thought, well, why don't I do 15 minutes behind the profile? So I spoke to a couple of people who are mates and said, look, I'm going to do this live show. Would you go? Oh, yeah, of course I'll come on. So I did that. And it ended up being longer than 15 minutes. But so that's what I did. I interviewed people live on LinkedIn, asking them about their business, asking them what they're doing on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And I have had so many incredible guests on from all walks of life. And so now people are queuing up to be on my show, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And literally, it wasn't that long ago. It's probably a year or so ago now that I thought, hang on, I could just repurpose this as a podcast.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a podcaster. And the beauty of the live, Rebecca, and all your lovely listeners, is I have to do it every single Tuesday and every single Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting out 2 episodes a week.
Wow.
So it doesn't take long to get in the hundreds.
Yeah. And there's that consistency thing again, isn't it?
There we go. Yes, absolutely.
There it is. I'm on a mailing list. So I'm a licensed trainer of NLP, and the people I trained with, Pure NLP, every month send out a newsletter, and the heading is, we've never missed a newsletter in however many years. It's now up to 25 years.
Wow.
Every month for 25 years, they've sent a newsletter out. And of course, they have a huge audience. And it's useful. I always read it, blah, blah, blah. And it's just that I think people were more, I don't know about you, when we first put our podcast out about 3.5 years ago, I think it was, 2 downloads. 6 downloads, 8 downloads when you first get going, like literally nobody's listening.
Yeah, you can see the tumbleweed, can't you?
Yeah, you can. You really can. But then if you just keep going, it's like a snowball and it gathers momentum.
Absolutely.
And you absolutely get there. And then you look at the stats like, oh my God, there's people in Zimbabwe listening to my podcast. That's bizarre. I hope
that blows my mind.
Yeah.
I get messages from people around the world. So with my book, so an Australian lady bought my book, but went skiing somewhere else in the world,
Right.
and took my book with her so that she could take a photo at the top of the mountain in all the snow. And it popped up on my feed, and I'm thinking, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. How did that happen?
And what's your book about?
What do you think it could be
Well,
about?
I'm going to hazard a guess, but I want you to tell us.
So you can see it behind me on the wall. I teach people how to use LinkedIn in 15 minutes a day.
Right.
And so that's great. We know how to use LinkedIn. But the problem that people have, Rebecca, is they do not know what to write.
No, it's true.
They're sort of like, oh, what do I want to write about? And so I've got 101 ideas in that book.
Right.
And it's more than 101 because each individual idea, I break that down into different things that you can talk about. So I'll just randomly open it. Newspaper headlines. Every day there's a load of different papers on the newsstands. Why not do a weekly feature explaining the headlines? So that's one idea. Give your take on world events. That's another idea. How they impact your business. That's another idea. If you do a website for today's newspaper, you'll come up with loads of ideas that you could do right now. So that's 4 or 5 ideas just with one idea.
Yeah.
And then I give you a little chart there to fill out. And so that you can go back and repurpose it. So it's not just the ideas. I talk about what sort of content you can do, and at the end there's loads of resources, and it just helps people get out there and do content.
Yeah,
because that's the key thing. The key thing is consistency.
Yeah,
but you have to actually create content, because otherwise no one's going to know that you exist.
No, and I've said this on several podcasts. I really love the fact that people go, yeah, I'm going to set up a business and I'll be fine because I'm getting a website done. I'm like, nobody is ever seeing your website.
No.
Not anymore. They'll go to it after they've seen you on a social media channel to check for background, but you ain't coming up on any searches, not unless you're spending thousands and thousands with Google. You're not coming up on a search, okay? Nobody's ever going to find that website. It says, please don't spend a lot of money on it if you are going to do it. Put your money and attention, well, it's not even money if you do it yourself, your attention into whichever channel you choose. Now, here's the other thing. You're on LinkedIn, you've branched out into YouTube. What's your advice on where to begin on social media? Because a lot of people are still terrified.
I love this question. Okay. Yeah. So I just mentioned there about newspapers, didn't I?
Yeah.
If you go into the local newsagents, all right, and sit there for an hour and look at the newspapers on the stand. So you're going to have the Telegraph, you can have the Times, you can have the Sun, the Daily Star, and all the other newspapers there. You start watching the people picking up the newspapers, you'll get an idea of the type of person buying a newspaper. Mm-hmm. Yeah. McDonald's are going to advertise in the Sun. Yeah. Rolex are going to advertise in the Times. Yeah. So you're starting to get a picture of who is buying that newspaper. Okay, there's going to be the odd one that you're sort of like, oh no, that, they whatever. That's exactly the same with social media.
Right.
It's exactly the same with social media. So where are your customers? If you're selling Rolex, then you need to speak to the Independent or the Financial Times and talk to them about advertising. If you're selling, I don't know, like I said, McDonald's, then speak to the Sun about advertising. And it's exactly the same with social media. Now, the thing is with LinkedIn, Rebecca, is you have to fill out, there's loads of stuff that you've got to do to have an account.
Yeah.
You can even verify yourself as well now.
I noticed you have. I have too. Yeah.
The thing is with LinkedIn is it's a real representation of a real person.
Yeah.
Now I'm actually on Instagram as Full Cup Coaching. I could be anybody. I can hide behind that.
Yeah.
I cannot hide behind Ashley Leeds on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So automatically, I'm more trusting of people on LinkedIn than I am on any of the other social medias.
That's
and
a
I think
really good point.
that is the key thing. Now, I did a post on Tuesday because my toilet blocked. All right.
Nice.
But yeah. So
Nice.
and the guy I was chatting to was saying most people end up calling out Dynarod. Yeah. It's like if your house is on fire, you're just going to ring 999. You're not going to turn around and you check the yellow pages or Google for the best fire engine. You're just going to ring 999. It's the same with a blocked drain.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give my money to a national company. I want to give it to somebody local. So I went on Google and there was a few, let's say dodgy, drain cleaners on there. But there was one and I found that he was local. And at the very bottom of his webpage was a little LinkedIn button. So I clicked LinkedIn to go and have a look at his page on LinkedIn. And it turns out there's a lady there. Well, so basically his partner, she runs the business with him, but I knew her. And so I didn't query the cost. I just phoned up. Can you come and see me? And he came on Monday, did an amazing job. And then on Tuesday, I did a post. Yeah. The amount of people that engaged on that post because they like the idea of local business and all that sort of thing. And so now this guy is sort of like thinking, oh my goodness, why aren't I using LinkedIn as much as I should be? Yeah. Who would think that a drain cleaner would get business from LinkedIn? But you will, because everybody on LinkedIn has drains.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if he just drops in a bit of content every single week, all right, a little bit about his 3 things that you can do to stop your drains blocking. Here's some tips on keeping your drains smelling nice. Or there's lots of things. If you start talking to a drain guy, I bet he could make that really exciting. And so if they just drop all this information, you just start seeing this guy as an expert and stuff like that, and you're there talking to someone. Oh, you need to speak to Chris. You need to speak to Chris.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
There's that guy is he a scaffolder from Sheffield?
You're talking of Craig Brooks.
That's it.
Craig Brooks. Now, Craig has actually been on my live show.
Oh, has he?
Yes. He is an amazing character. He gets 25% of his business from what he does on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
All right. He's in Sheffield.
Yeah.
He's in Sheffield. He can't sell you or me a conservatory. We're at top and bottom of the UK, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to be able to service us, but he still gets 25% of his business from LinkedIn. How many other double glazing sales guys do you see getting business from LinkedIn?
Yeah, hardly any. Any. Yeah, no, he does great videos as well, and they're very engaging and they're just entertaining. The fact that I know of him in Sheffield sitting here in Edinburgh is only because of LinkedIn and for no other reason.
That's right.
Yeah. And people go, yeah, but it's really crowded and how will I ever get above the noise? One of the things I tell people, and I don't know what your thoughts on this are, I when they ask you to contribute to articles and things like that, I consistently do that. And then they gave me a badge to say top voice in business coaching. I was like, it's only because I've just written a few things in articles for them. And they reward that kind of engagement, don't they?
I'd stop, Rebecca.
Oh, why? Why?
No one reads them.
Oh, okay.
No one reads them. The effort, the amount of effort you've put into those, no one's reading them. No one's. When was the last time you sat and read a collaborative article?
Oh, well, I haven't.
Ever. No, absolutely. But how many have you contributed to?
Quite a few. I don't spend a lot of time on it. It has to be said.
But if you did that on your own content. Yeah. So here's the conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay. This will be good.
Yeah. So LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. Yeah.
Okay.
Microsoft own ChatGPT.
I thought they were gathering data for that. I did suspect that.
And so if you start writing loads and loads of collaborative articles, it's all going into their ChatGPT engine, and there's a proper name for that. And I can't large language model. Oh, get me.
Well done.
So yes, it's all going into their large language model. Yeah. And you're just giving them loads more data that they can sell to all of their customers on ChatGPT and any other product that they bring out.
Yeah.
So yeah, put your effort into your own stuff.
Okay.
Rather than the collaborative article. Do people care if you've got a badge?
Don't know. Some people might, some people probably don't.
I've you can't see, I've got my jeans on that I just normally wear, but I've got a posh pair that I wear when I go gigging,
Right.
because I'm a musician, but I also wear them if I go to networking meetings. Horrible day today, and I didn't put my best jeans on. Okay. And I'm sat there thinking, oh, do I do it or do I not? And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this guy was saying that he cracked a joke at a dinner party. And as he cracked the joke, it was an affront to the host, but it was funny. And he said the room just went quiet. And he just sort of like, oh my God, I was going to, da, 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 da. He spoke to his friend later on, next day or the day after. He said, oh, didn't even notice you said that. Because no one cares. Everyone's worried about, are they getting enough mushrooms with their dinner? Or am I going to have another glass of red wine? Nobody there, everybody else there was worrying what they looked like.
Yeah.
No one looked at me and went, he stood up there talking in front of everybody. Look at the state of his jeans. No one cares.
No, they don't. They
no
really
one
don't.
cares. And I think that's the trouble. I have people, one of the things on LinkedIn, I don't know if you know this, but on your name, I see people. So for me, I might put Ashley Leeds 15-minute guy actually in the name field.
Yeah.
So to do that, you've got to fudge the name field. So you've got first name and surname.
Yeah.
So in the surname, it would be Leeds 15-minute guy.
Yeah.
Well, by doing that, I'm actually contravening the terms and conditions of LinkedIn.
Yeah, I got suspended for that the week before last.
What did you have?
I had Rebecca, business coach's coach Bonington, and they
Wow.
suspended my account.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is it, right? If you don't fix it, they'll kick you off LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Can you afford to lose your LinkedIn account?
Nope.
Yeah. And so, and this is exactly the same as putting in your qualifications after your name as well. This is all bending the rules of LinkedIn. And so I turn around to my accountants and bookkeepers and so I say, look, you shouldn't really, and I don't mind, but I don't want anyone turning around to me and saying, look, I've been suspended on LinkedIn. Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
So I've told you. But you see, I know Ashley Leeds, and I can't think what I'd have after my name, but MCM or whatever it is, if I'm an accountant, AAT or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you care if your accountant has those qualifications after their name or not?
No, not really.
What do you care about? You care that they're going to do your books in a timely manner. You're caring that they're going to make sure that your tax return's done in time. You're caring that they're going to make sure that you get paid and all those sorts of things. And we all get, oh yeah, but I've spent a million years doing all these qualifications. No one cares.
No, it's true. It's an expectation that's what we've got. They suspended me for two reasons. One was that in my name, and the other one was that we'd been using a scheduling tool to schedule posts on my personal account, and you're not allowed to do that either, it turns out.
Yeah, I don't use any third-party stuff.
No,
I because if I lost my LinkedIn,
I know
I'd be a little bit up the whatever it is without a paddle.
I had 2 days where I was quite stressed. Shall we say, and it was for those two reasons. And I actually got a resolution quite quickly, but I only think I got a resolution quickly because I spend a lot of money on job ads.
Right. Okay.
So our coach training leads to being a licensed coach with us at Tricrest. So we that's how we get our people in. Yeah, it was like, I can't afford not to be on here. But the way they dealt with it wasn't great. So they suspended my account, and the language they used was so vague. It's like I couldn't work out that that's what they meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't get into LinkedIn to change it because
you've been kicked out.
Because I've been kicked out. It's like, what am I supposed to do now then?
Yeah. So what did you do to get out of that, Rebecca?
Well, I contacted my account manager and went, our contract's up for renew in April. I can't renew because I can't get into my account. So you're going to lose money. And then I took to Twitter And I was like, can somebody, and by the way, if you take to Twitter and say you've been locked out of an account, every scammer on the planet messages you and says, go and speak to my friend on Instagram. Like, that's a massive scam. Please don't ever fall for that.
No way.
But LinkedIn Help said, yeah, we're on it. And they eventually restored my account. But it was like, well, why didn't you just say, I'll take that off? I'll change that immediately. Which I did. And then, yeah, we stopped using the scheduling tool. It's like, well, just tell me.
You know, when you're driving through town and you go through a red light or you do more than 30, the policeman comes over and he says, look, you're really naughty. You've just gone through a red light or you've just gone over 30. Oh, right. Okay. Really sorry. Here's a fine. Off you go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through a red light ever again. I'm not going to do more than 30 ever again.
No.
But yeah, how do you know? And this is the thing. It's sort of like it's when you're playing Monopoly. You pass go, you do not collect. You know, it's all you know what you're doing. You know what you've got to do. You know, you've got to go in jail. You've got to shake a double to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is so vague. And so I've written the post twice now.
Okay.
About the name, and basically it's a picture of me behind an iron gate, but it looks like a jail.
Right.
And in the post, I've got the link to the terms and conditions from LinkedIn. And so if someone connects with me, go, oh, hi, I want to connect with you, and they've got the long name, I hope you don't mind, and I'll send them the post. And I've had arguments with people because they've had a LinkedIn trainer that's told them that's what they've got to do.
No, you can't. Get suspended.
Come on.
You will get suspended.
Did you feel sick when you got that note saying you were suspended?
Yeah, it was horrific.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's like losing your mobile phone, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a guy, Naresh, in New Delhi, who's obviously up before me because of the time zones. And he went, I can't get into your LinkedIn profile. He does lots of marketing for us. And I'm like, no, neither can. In fact, I can't get into LinkedIn. Expletive came out of my mouth. Anyway, listen, right.
It's fixed.
It's fixed. It's done. I know never to do it again. Naughty me. And we don't use a scheduling tool anymore. So I'm back to doing all that stuff, but that's fine.
You can schedule within LinkedIn now.
Oh, can you?
Yes, you can.
Brilliant.
Yes, you can.
Brilliant. I'll check that out then. That will help. Now, here's the thing. If your business had a personality or a character, Ashley, who would it be or how would you describe it?
Tigger.
Tigger. Of course.
It's not a surprise, is it?
No.
It's not a surprise. I didn't even need to think about that, did I?
No. What's your purpose? I've described it. The Hindus call it your dharma, your destiny. What's the thing that drives you to do what you do?
I just love helping people. And I guess this comes back from the hospitality. So my gran had a hotel and then my uncle took it over. And when I was old enough, I went and spent the summer working at the hotel.
Right.
And I learned back then as a 16-year-old that if you give people good service, they absolutely love you and you get a nice big tip. But it wasn't for the tips. It was because they were really pleasant to you. I never had anybody, clicking their fingers at me and stuff like that. And so, I'd be taking, I don't know, the meal to table number 3, and I'd see that table number 4 had finished their wine and is everything all right and stuff like that. And it did sort of, they smile, they're happy and stuff like that. And so I learned at a very young age that it's not what you do for people, it's how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And so that's what drives me.
Yeah.
And so.
I think that's lovely. And I think in our society, I think the ability to serve of others, and I've talked about this before, its service is often denigrated as that's beneath me, but actually it's a privilege to serve others, I think. And here's the thing, Bob Proctor, the great man himself, a couple of years ago, I went on one of his webinars. He's now not with us anymore, but Bob Proctor said, the more people you serve, the more money you make. Yeah. And he's absolutely right. And you don't do it to make money. You do it because it's a privilege and a pleasure to serve. The outcome happens to make people feel great and you happen to end up earning money from it. But you feel better as well, don't you? If you come at things with that element, I'm here to serve you, you feel better.
So altruism,
Yeah.
right? It's an ironic word because
Right.
I've read a lot of stuff about happiness and positivity and stuff like that. And if you give stuff away, it makes you feel good. It's good for you. And if you give stuff away and you're getting something from it, then that's not really altruism, is it?
No.
So it is a bit ironic. But
Yeah.
yeah, and like you say, it does all come back. I would not be doing this show, Accountex, in May if I'd have charged for everything. If I'd have sort of like, oh no, that's beneath me.
Yeah.
I've just done it.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's loads of things that have come off the back of all the things that I've done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, you know, what is it? A little bit of time.
Yeah, that's all it is. It is wonderful. What a great place to leave it, Ashley. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best with your future endeavours. I'm going to recommend your book to our coaches and consultants so they've got ideas. I assume it's on Amazon, is it?
It certainly is on Amazon.
Brilliant.
And if you go to my profile on
Okay.
LinkedIn, I've got a load of free resources. And one of the things that I do is a free profile review.
Okay.
Literally takes me about 4 minutes.
Great.
And what I'll do is I'll look at your profile. I will tell you what I think and send the video to you, and then you can go away and fix it.
Oh,
and it's quite embarrassing sometimes because I was doing one for a lady the other day, and her photo looked like a wanted photo. Okay, and the first thing I say to people is you've got to be open in your photo.
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, I then had a meeting with her because I told her, oh my goodness, I can't say that. I'm really sorry. And she sent me this really big long email saying, you hit it on the nail. You hit the nail on the head. Thank you so much for being honest with me. I needed to hear that."
Wow.
But then I had a meeting with her, and she said, "Well, if I smile, my eyes look all squinty." And I said, "No one cares.
No.
What they do care is they want to see your teeth. They want to see you smiling. They want to see you happy."
Yeah.
So I do that. So if any of your listeners want to have a free profile review, absolutely not a problem at all.
I will put your LinkedIn link in the show notes, and I will also share it specifically with our coaches and consultants, of which we have about 69, 70 now, and get them to get in touch. Yeah, brilliant. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ashley. That's fantastic. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you very much for having me. Cheerio.
In this interview, I speak to Blake Reddy, who's just started his own private client wealth management company. Now, for all of you who go, oh, Yawnsville, it's finance. Listen, there's some really good stuff in here that's going to help you build your own wealth. And just because you're running a business, it doesn't mean you can't do that. Listen to how starting even with a very small amount of money per month can really add up over time in a surprising way. If you're interested in making money and having financial security, listen to this podcast.
The Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass, where we make